thanks so much for downloading the episode on the show today. I tell Paula about my recent annual checkup and the results of what I do and do not have. Also, we wrap up the final details of our Vegas trip. 2 words, fingerling potatoes. That and our ugly and awkward moments of the week. Please shop lipandclip.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Are you high? What pain pill have they given you today?
Paula?
I felt like I had just rode a horse.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. It is episode 323. Ooh.
I was putting an effort.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not tired anymore.
Oh, well, I am. So,
are you still exhausted?
not from the trip. Daryl was in Houston for 2 days, and he got home late last night. And now that Malia, my 18-year-old, is driving, she basically has taken over the car, his car. And so we have my car, and Daryl is being a bit persnickety about, because he wants to get a truck.
Right.
He's wanted a truck for 15 years. He's just never had the opportunity to have one, even though everyone in his life has told him just to go get it.
Right.
He just won't do it. And so now we're kind of at a point where, you know, and he's traveling a lot right now. And so he needs to have his own car. So I had to go get him. He offered to Uber home, but I think that's dumb.
That's expensive.
And it makes me feel lazy. Like, what? I can't go get my own husband from the airport? I mean, that's stupid. I'm like, no, you were not Ubering home, you idiot. I'm going to come and get you. And I took him too. And he had to be at the airport at 5:15.
Oh, God.
So Tuesday morning, we are up and he's like, hey, you have 15 minutes and then we have to leave. I'm like, all right. And I'm literally in bed in a coma. And I look at the clock. I'm like, oh, God. I did the, you know.
So what'd you do? Throw on sweats and
Napoleon Dynamite. I'm all, So I got up. We didn't even get coffee. We had to leave. Yeah. So, it was either sleep a little longer or get up and make coffee. And I said nope, because he said he would drive to the airport. So he did.
Oh, okay.
And when it's that early, I'm not grumpy yet. Because my body is still in sleep mode. So it's not like I'm needing caffeine quite yet, because it's just ridiculous for me that early. So drop him off, and, you know, it's like pitch black out. You know, by the time we say our goodbyes and everything, he takes off and I drive home. And there's something really cool about driving home before the sun is up and you're awake, and it's just kind of a really neat time of the morning, you know, before anything's really up and about.
Yeah, there's no traffic.
No traffic, and the people that are on the road, you know, they're commuters or they've been driving all over God's creation and they're headed somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I drove home at 100 miles an hour almost the whole way.
Jesus.
It was awesome. It was so great. It's just the air is still, and I don't know. There's just something about that time. So I really liked it. Got home, coffee was ready, so I had some coffee. And I hit the wall about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, oh my God.
Oh God. I would have said I hit the wall about 15 minutes later.
No, no, I was good most of the day. But what was funny is I'm like, God, I'm starving. And I look, I go, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm hungry. I said, this is why senior citizens eat lunch and dinner so early, because they get up before the chickens do. Mm-hmm. So they're like, by 9 o'clock, they're like, God, I'm starving. What's for lunch?
God.
It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, I hit the wall, and then he came home, and luckily he got home a little early, but still, by the time we got home, first of all, both of us were starving. We hadn't eaten anything, and so we stopped at freaking Applebee's.
What the hell?
It's the only thing open at 10 o'clock. They're open till 11, and it was literally the only thing open, and so I said, well, I guess Applebee's it is.
God, I would have, tried Taco Bell or something like that.
I can't do fast food, although we ordered burgers, and I have to say, I said, this burger tastes like it's from Jack in the Box. We literally could have gone to Jack in the Box and gotten the same exact burger.
God, Applebee's is just like a mouthful of grease.
I have never been to an Applebee's because we just don't eat at chain. We just don't eat out a lot anyway, and when we do, it isn't Applebee's or Chili's or any of those
like
places.
chain restaurants. Yeah.
No, not really. And you know my feelings on the Olive Garden. I won't even go in there.
No, nobody. I don't understand the people who do.
I don't either, personally. Why do we wait so long to eat pasta that you could have purchased for $1.50 at the grocery store? Is beyond me.
Right.
Is it the all-you-can-eat bread? I'm not sure. But buy a loaf for $1 at the grocery store and you've got an Olive Garden meal.
It is true.
So, yes, I'm tired today, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Considering all the crap that's going on right now, I figure, you know what? This podcast is going to be a little ray of sunshine.
Hopefully.
There's so many things going on that are so sad and difficult. And so I was thinking about that before we started recording. I'm like, you know what? We're just going to talk about stupid, silly, awkward things today.
I know. This week sucked.
It really sucked. It's heart-wrenching everywhere you go. It's just terrible. So we're going to be a little weird and silly, our usual.
Yeah.
So really quick. So I told you when we were in Vegas that I had my annual physical on Halloween.
Oh, right.
And so I had to fast and get all my blood work done. And my doctor, Dr. Fong, decided that he wanted to check my thyroid. So,
Right.
Now, listen, I am not morbidly obese. You know, I am not a size 2. I've never been. But he looked at me, he's all, no offense, but I'm going to check your thyroid. And I was like...
I'd be like, well, if I knew what a thyroid did, then maybe I'd be offended, but...
And I said, all right. He goes, it's just that, you know, you could be getting to an age where women's thyroids start to kind of change or they can go haywire. I did the research, of course, the instant I got home.
Right.
So I go into the lab place and she's like, oh, they're really checking your thyroid this time, huh? And I'm like,
oh my God, like he checked all the boxes.
He did. And I said, apparently so. As I wobbled into the stupid lab, apparently I don't look at all like what I thought I did. So I said, all right, fine. So I go home and I Google thyroid problems. And the most common, obviously, is Hashimoto's disease, which is 70% of the cases of thyroid. And it's like 90% women is Hashimoto's. If you have a thyroid problem. Now, I know women who have it. I'm not making light of it. Trust me. I was not even worried necessarily. At some point, I read all the symptoms. And I turned to Daryl and I said, well, aside from the hair loss, I could potentially say that I said, I'm cold all the time. I can't lose weight, like efficiently. And I couldn't think of the other one. I'm all, do I have difficulty swallowing? I started thinking about it. And I said, maybe.
No, but I do.
I know.
No, not like that.
I know. You woke me up choking on your water. In Vegas.
It's just an issue. I don't know what. Well, and then I choked, you know, when we were recording. I just can't swallow water.
Of course, you know, I Googled, can you die from Hashimoto's disease? I needed to know. Is this something that if I don't treat, I will die? It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
It looks like it's just like, it's an autoimmune disorder, essentially.
Oh. Well, it's about time you get yours.
Exactly. And so I said, okay. I said, well, maybe this is my curse. Maybe this is the one. Because every single one of our family members, the females, all have an autoimmune disorder.
The only one that's missing is Stephanie.
I think she has one.
She probably has one. She just hasn't been diagnosed.
No, I know. She hasn't been diagnosed. So finally I go, you know, I'm almost hoping I have it. Because if I get a pill and I regulate my thyroid, maybe all the weight will just drop off.
I know, right?
And I said, that would be so great because, you know, I eat like no sugar. I work out literally every day and I can't lose weight. And I know that if there's a nutritionist or some guy, trainer or something going, oh, you're doing it. Something's inefficient. You're doing something wrong. Well, maybe. You know, I've been told that I starve myself and that's not an efficient way to lose fat.
Right.
So it's possible, but still I said, God, wouldn't it be great if just a pill would show all the work that I do?
Right.
Daryl's like, yeah, sure. You know, he goes, Jamie, you don't want a disease. And I said, I do if it will fix the weight loss problem. And he's like, all right. So I immediately text our mom. And I said, hey, Mom, does anybody have a thyroid disorder in our family? 10 minutes later, ring, ring.
Of course.
I'm like, hello, Mother. She goes, who's got a thyroid problem? And I said, well, I'm being tested for it. She's like, I see. And so I said, yeah, maybe Hashimoto. She goes, oh, yes, Hashimoto's disease. Like, as if she knows everything about anything.
She does.
I know.
She can practically be a physician based on all the research she's done over the years.
I said, well, I've done my research and I have most of the symptoms. And it said that women blow off these symptoms because they think it's because they're just getting older and not a disease. And so, but here's the thing, Paula. This is a disease that they check for when you're in your 60s.
Oh.
I'm nowhere near that. Now, it is true that hypothyroidism, all of that. I know women who are my age who have been diagnosed with it for 12, 15 years. I mean, it's not only an older woman's disease, but if your thyroid's going to go haywire after a whole lifetime of being normal, it's usually when you're postmenopausal.
Well, I was going to say, couldn't it be like a hormone thing?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Your thyroid is a hormone, right? Or
it's the hormone center. Yes, it's everything. It regulates everything. So anyway, the doctor calls me the day after we got home from Vegas on Monday. He calls me. Mm-hmm. He goes, you are very healthy. And I said, oh, okay. He goes, your thyroid is perfect. And I went, damn it.
Oh, dang.
I'm like, thank you. He goes, your cholesterol is ridiculously good. Your triglycerides, blah, blah, blah. Everything's wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. So I'm upstairs and I'm very dejected because I'm like, I'm not getting a pill.
You wanted a disease.
I did. And so I called Daryl. He's in the office downstairs and I called him from the bedroom. He's like, did you mean to call me? And I said, yes. He goes, what's the matter? I go, well, I just got off the phone with Dr. Fong. He goes, oh my God, and I go, I don't have Hashimoto's disease. I'm healthy. I'll be right up.
He had to comfort you for being healthy.
I said, God damn it, now I just have to keep working out really hard every day.
Well, I mean, you also have to keep in mind you did have 3 children, so.
I know.
That
I'm aware.
And you're short.
Paula, listen, all the excuses, I know. I mean, literally, I would probably have to have plastic surgery because a lot of the stuff, it's skin, right. There's a lot of stuff. So I told Mom, so I could text Mom, I go, good news, I don't have Hashimoto's disease. I'm perfectly fine.
I would have texted her, bad news, I don't have Hashimoto's.
Yeah, really. And she's like, oh, embrace it, honey. Congratulations.
Mom's like, so weird.
I'm like, what? I'm like, are you high? What pain pill have they given you today?
Probably the same ones they've been giving her for years.
Anyway, I'm healthy, goddammit. So what are you going to do? I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to embrace the fact that I'm a thick Mexican girl who will continue to not eat ice cream and cake.
I know. It's the same thing with me. Every night, everyone has dessert. I don't have anything.
Every night they have dessert?
Usually they have cookies or ice cream or something like that. And I just eat dinner and that's all.
I would turn to Olivia and be like, Olivia, a minute in the lips, forever on the hips.
I'm not going to give her a complex at age 9.
What? She does it to you all the time. I don't think you should wear that dress. You look pregnant. Remember?
I do.
I would hold that shit against her when she's 13. I'd be like, eat it up, girl. Enjoy your ice cream.
Yeah, right. She's going to be the stick with no body that looks like a teenage boy.
She's going to look like a water bug. Just roaming around all thin and crazy. All right, so let's wrap up our Vegas trip. There were a couple of things we forgot to mention last week because we kind of ran out of time. And they're just little details that we found hilarious. First of all, I don't eat gluten-free, but I don't eat a lot of carbs. And you don't eat any because you have celiacs.
Right.
So what was hilarious is when it kind of limited where we were going to go to dinner, which it didn't really matter to me because as you and I have discussed before, when we travel, we're not starving. We don't eat out. We don't eat a lot. Paula, literally, I could count on one hand how many meals we ate.
Do you know when we came back, I had actually lost a pound?
Well, it's because we walked over.
It was probably because we walked all of our life off, but when
we got home, I felt like I hadn't eaten in a week. I was starving. I told Daryl, I'm like, I can't get enough to eat. I'm so hungry.
That's kind of how I'm like, I want a steak or something.
Me
like
too. Paula, we walked like almost 9 miles.
And when we were in Vegas, I could not stop pooping. Like, seriously, I'm like, what is up? Because normally I don't go like more than once a week.
Was it all do you think it was all the coffee? Because we did drink a lot of coffee.
That, or I think it was because I was drinking so much water. And
oh, yeah, you and your Camel ways.
God, I could not get enough.
Okay, so I don't know when that kicked in, but you're all, Jamie, you went downstairs. You're like, I'm going to go and get a water. You went downstairs and you came back with a gallon of water. You spent like $30 on bottled water because
I did.
Vegas, everything's free except for water. Literally. Water was more expensive than our cocktails.
They do not bring water anywhere. Like, even at the restaurant, like, you had to ask for water, and it's in these little tiny glasses. You know, it's not anything big.
It's like liquid gold there. You can't bet. You have to beg for it. It's crazy. I noticed, I said, well, this is the desert, so it kind of makes sense that water is somewhat of a commodity. You know, but you were like, Jamie, I can't. She goes, I feel weird.
I couldn't stop. So I brought back 2 giant Fiji bottles. I drank both of them.
You did, you're all, Jamie. And then they give you these baby tiny, like 3 tablespoonful bottles of water at night when they do turn down service. And you drank them both?
Oh, I downed those in like 15 minutes.
Well, they were barely like a quarter of a cup of water. There was nothing in them. And so you're like, Jamie, I'm going to drink this one. I'm like, go ahead. You're like, I'll pay you back. I'm like, for the free bottle? Okay, sure. Pay me back the whole free.
I got so desperate, I drank the water out of the faucet, which was a mistake because that tasted like the water from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, it's very treated. That's for sure.
It was so gross.
Well, the water they gave us at the restaurant tasted like crap. I mean, it was gross. I'm like, can I get a lemon?
Yeah.
It was bad. But so we go to this cute cafe that they have at the Aria. It's the Aria Cafe. And you order, and this is really smart. I'm going to remember this when I don't want carbs. You order breakfast. And
yeah.
You just got the Denver omelet. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that's such a good idea. And so you order the Denver omelet and you get, I don't know what the deal is, but every meal we got for the whole weekend came with fingerling potatoes. And these potatoes weren't teeny tiny. They were like big. They looked like dog poop size.
They did look like dog poop.
And they looked, and not only that, the color, but they had like sauteed them in some kind of onion herb mix with butter or something, so they looked like they were covered with grass. And then they smashed them like someone had stepped on dog poop. You had that one, you took a picture of it and put it on your Instagram. You had that one fingerling potato that was significantly larger than the other potatoes, and it was sitting out of the ramekin.
It was protruding out.
It was so unappealing.
It looked like a penis. And then I said, I can't eat this. So I went to go pull it out. But it was so long.
It kept coming. It kept pulling out. Like it was like the endless fingerling potato.
So finally I stopped because I'm like, I can't touch it anymore.
It was so raw looking.
So you're like, I'll do it.
So I pull it out and you're all, ew! You're like, God. So then I decided to just cut it up. And I mean, Paula, it was so the whole thing was so revolting, which is so weird. It was just a freaking potato, but they were so over large. They were like these extra large fingerlings, because fingerlings aren't supposed to be, I mean, those weren't fingers. I mean, They were huge. Like, you know what, Arsenio Hall fingers?
They look like Sasquatch toes or something.
Like Paula. Don't say that. Oh, like a Wookiee foot. It's just so gross. We didn't eat them for the rest. So we get room service. We order eggs and pancakes and all the stuff comes. And there's the fingerling potatoes.
I know.
We order dinner. There's the fingerling. They were at every meal. When I ordered, okay, so it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We had come back from our Fremont Street experience, and we're at the hotel, and we're like, we're hungry. So you order an omelet, and I said, you know what? I need a carb, actually. I actually need a carb. So I ordered the loaded baked potato because I thought it had broccoli in it. It was fingerling potatoes cut up with cheese and green onions. I think I ate like 2 of them. I just was like, no, I can't eat any more fingerlings.
Enough with the fingerlings. Well,
I can't believe it.
There was one time you ordered, was it pulled pork or?
No, I ordered a short rib.
A short rib, and it says smashed potatoes, and it actually was whipped potatoes.
They were the fingerlings, though, Paula. They tasted just like it. I was like, these are whipped fingerlings.
And so then
I couldn't eat them.
I ordered something and it said country potatoes. And I'm like, finally, not the fingerlings. And so they came and brought my plate. And I'm like, it's the fingerlings.
It was the worst thing ever. I'm like,
what country potatoes?
What is the obsession with the finger? Did someone just over order? So now everyone's getting fingerlings for all.
I know. And they're just trying to unload these things.
Jesus Christ. There were so many. It was very odd. It was very odd. I don't even know. So there was that situation. And then we never discussed the toilet in the suite that we stayed in.
I took a picture of it. Not the toilet, but the little apparatus that,
yes, it was the fancy Toto toilet, like Toto the dog. Toto toilet. And these are actually originated in Japan. And they're the ones where they encourage you not to use toilet paper. So you actually wash your butt with water and then it dries it. And there's even a deodorizer that can deodorize your ass if you want to.
Oh my God.
I've always wanted to try one because Daryl and I had talked about how cool it would be to have one. And so I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. The thing didn't work. I could not figure it out.
You were willing to try it?
Yes, I tried every time I went in there. I tried it. I even looked around going, is there a switch that I'm missing? Do you have to like turn it on? And I mean, I pressed every button. I opened up the control panel and looked. The problem was every time I went in there, I had to actually go to the bathroom. So I didn't really have a whole lot of time to sit there and figure it out. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to wash my butt on this thing. So I just did it traditional and, I was kind of disappointed. It looked old, though. It didn't look like one of the newer models.
No, it looked like it was from the 80s.
It really did, didn't it? And so I'm like, well, screw this. This is not anything. But like I told you, I definitely would not go back to the corner suite again.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fun experience, but you're obviously paying for the view. Everything else seemed a bit dated.
Right.
And I've been in rooms at the Aria and they were not that color scheme either.
Right.
They were a little more updated. So, okay, so then it was time to leave. Now the trip home was way better. I mean, the car ride to the airport was amazing, right? I mean, we were in a Cadillac.
Yeah, we were in the Escalade.
And the gentleman was so nice.
He was sweet.
Whenever I see someone who's clearly in their 60s, I go, why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you have to or because you want to? Because
I think they do it because they're bored.
You think they want something to do during the day? Well, he said he had worked all night.
Wow.
We were his last run for the day. So I think he, and he obviously works for the Aria because we were in the Aria Cadillac, but I just wonder, he said, yeah, you're my last run of the night. I was like, what? I'm like, well, it is 11:30 if he works 12-hour shifts or whatever, or just works the night shift. But he was super kind. I really liked him.
He was nice. He was way better than the first guy.
So what was weird about when we got there, which was completely flawless, and then we check our bags, flawless. Mm-hmm. You have to walk quite a distance to get to anything, even security. Like, it took forever to get anywhere. That place needs a full reboot. They need a full reboot. I feel like they've just added on tunnels to get people from here to there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you have gates that are like far left or gates that are far right.
Yeah, it was weird. So we get to security and there's a line, and yet there's all these other agents with green lights above their desk. And so I walk right over. I'm like, are you guys open? They're like, well, yes, we are. I'm like, well, what the hell? Why aren't you guys yelling at people to come over here? This is ridiculous.
Because they're lazy.
So we walk over there and I hand them the thing. I thought you were right behind me. I didn't know where you went.
You just power walk off on your own. And I'm just like, wait, what? Hold on.
Well, come on. Well, I mean, my children will attest whenever we go to the airport. I'm like, it's every man for himself. I say that. I'm like, this is the game plan. Either follow me or figure it out on your own. It's every man for himself at the airport.
So I couldn't follow you because you just went off and then you were in the capsule. And so I'm just like, well, I better get in my own thing so that way I can catch up with her.
Yes, it's true. And then I look back and go, where's everyone? I get really weird at the airport. It's so funny. I'm just like, this is it. This is where we're going. If I don't see you, this is the gate. Best of luck to all of you.
I was barely grabbing my shoes in my purse when you were calling me. And I'm just like, hold on, I've got all my things. You know?
What's funny about it, too, is when you're leaving Vegas, the mood of people who are leaving Vegas is so different than the mood when people are arriving.
Yes, it's very somber.
It is a somber, quiet morning period. Adjustment to ugly light. I mean, I was in the airport. We had to pee or something. And so I look in the mirror, I'm like, God, they really don't give you they give you the real light here in the hotels and the casinos. Everyone looks beautiful. Everyone's makeup's on point. And then you get to McCarran International, like, God damn it. You look like you could be in rehab. I mean, it's so bad. They're like, get out. It's just, get out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
So, as you were witness to, producer Dub did not do well while I was gone.
Right.
He really struggled. And I don't know why. Now, next week we'll discuss it. We went to Bodega Bay before we went to Vegas, and there was there was just a lot of things that occurred on that. Good things, but weird things, like insect issues and things. But I'll tell you about that next week. But he was really he was heartsick. It made me sad. I was like, dude, you should. He goes, I don't like being a bachelor. I just don't like it. I'm like, okay. So he called all the kids. He's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And when I got home, I said, he was there at the tram. He didn't even wait down by the luggage to get us or anything.
I know.
That's sweet though, right?
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it's sweet. But I told him, honey, God forbid anything happened to me. What are you going to do with yourself? He goes, I'll just throw myself in my work. I have our children. I'm like, that's not going to be enough. You and I both know that. You're going to be one of those guys that gets married 6 months later. You can't do it. Well, you and I had that discussion. You're going to assist.
He's going to have to.
He can't be alone. And I said, you're like that swan. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, there is a story about a swan couple in this little park because swans mate for life. Well, the female swan got sick. And so they took her to the animal hospital where she was treated, but she was gone for a week. And they brought her back. They have special swan bags. They're so pretty. They have these special swan bags. So they bring her back to the pond and he's just swimming around by himself. They set her free into the pond and he wraps his neck around her neck and he would not let go.
Aww.
And they just swam together for the rest of the day. And I said, that's you. You're the swan. He goes, oh, yeah, I guess I am. And so it was really sweet. Did your kids miss you?
I unlocked the door and I opened the door. I'm like, hello. Olivia got up off the couch and started running for the door. Aww. And then she gave me a big hug. And Ryan was right behind her,
Hi, Mom.
doing a quick walk. He's like, hi, Mom.
That's so sweet. They're like, we're sick of Wiener Schnitzel, Mom.
So, like I said, she had a hard time with me leaving because she's just like, well, Dad goes all the time, but you never leave.
I know.
So, anyways, they were super happy that I was home.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Did you notice that your car got washed?
What?
Daryl washed your car. You didn't even notice?
No.
He goes, did Paula notice? And I go, notice what? Because I didn't notice either. He goes, well, I washed your car. I go, did you clean the inside too? He goes, no. Just, I was washing my car and then some water got on it. And so it made it worse because there was a layer of dust on it.
Oh, nothing can make my car worse. It's so dirty.
So he washed it really. He goes, I just did it really quick. I'm like, oh, I'm sure she probably didn't because I didn't.
That's so nice. Yeah. No, I'll have to go take a look.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'll be like, well, wonders never cease. It's clean. So, anyway.
Well, tell him thank you.
Well, he'll hear this, so you can, say he heard that you said thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
So, mine happened in Vegas, not shocking. Mm-hmm. When we were getting to Fremont Street, and we were there, and when we thought you lost your wallet and we were going to go back to the hotel.
Yes.
We were waiting for the other Uber to come back. We got an Uber XL because we didn't want to end up in like a Prius or something like that.
Right.
And although we wound up in a minivan one time.
Oh my God. You're like, I hit XL. And I'm like, I think it's select we want. I think XL just means cheap but bigger. But honestly, Paul, I have no idea.
I don't know.
That minivan was filthy, by the way.
The guy we got 2 minivans, I think.
That whole Friday is such a blur that I don't even remember. We were in so many Ubers that night. I only remember the last one, which was Lloyd. He was the only, and even though I kept calling him Boyd.
It
Sorry.
sounds the same.
Boyd, Lloyd. I felt terrible, but anyway.
So I saw one and I'm like, oh, there it is. And so I started walking towards the street and I was like, was I one lane over or was I just in the lane? I don't really know where I was, but I definitely was like in the street though.
We were on the sidewalk waiting and and they gave us an indication of what we were looking for. It was like a Lexus or something. And we didn't know what that make of car looked like. And so this car pulls into the street to drop people off.
Right.
You're walking towards it. I'm like, Paula, I don't think that's our Uber. And I'm like, I don't think it's our Uber. Because you're running out into the street. And I'm like, it's burgundy. We're looking for black.
And so I'm like, hello, are you picking up for Paula? And then all of a sudden I look in the back seat and there's like 6 people in there.
They're all
and
staring at you. Like,
they're all like going to get out. I'm like, oh, I'm like, never mind. Thank you.
and I'm like, Paula, no. It was so
then
funny.
I ran back. Mind you, I'm in like 4-inch heels and like a totally short dress.
That was hilarious.
And so I go like running back across
Yeah.
the street and...
Yeah, it was really funny.
But...
Really
that
funny.
was the funniest part is because, we're dressed to the nines.
Yes.
We're running around like, fools.
Oh, God, we look like lost souls. We literally look like lost souls. We're like, what? And then the Uber guy calls. He's like, can you meet me at Pizza Rock? I'm like, where's that? I'm like, Paul, I look at you as if you would know. Dude, where's Pizza Rock? You're like, what? What is it?
I'm like, I think there's a sign down there that says Pizza Rock.
And then all of a sudden, he goes, I'm waving at you. I'm waving at you. I'm like, what? And I turned and looked the complete opposite direction. She's like, no, turn around. I'm on the phone. He's like, no, turn around. And I look way down, like a city block away. He's waving, flailing his arms. I'm like, oh, that must be him. And we walk. He wasn't very friendly, by the way.
No, and he's the one that drove like 100 miles an hour down the freeway.
He couldn't wait to get rid of us.
I think he, like in his former life, was a taxi driver. Because
you think?
taxi
God.
drivers drive crazy.
And not only that, but remember that he almost slammed into that woman who wasn't paying attention?
I think he honked at her.
He did. He honked at her and she turned around. She's like, fuck you. I was like, oh my God. It was really funny. Anyway, yes, that was your awkward moment, just approaching strangers in the street with your sister yelling, oh, it's burgundy. We're looking for black.
God.
That was really funny.
At least we were in a well-lit area.
Thank God. And it was still, it was like midnight.
There could have been a cop thinking that I was like approaching cars.
Oh my God. Well, it wouldn't be surprising considering that people were propositioning us anyway. Jesus Christ. Mine did happen at the airport, but it's awkward only because I did it twice. Every time we were boarding the plane, I hand the boarding pass to the person and I walk away. I did it twice. The first time they're like, no, ma'am, you're going to need this. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And so I'm like, I'm sorry. And I walk and I did it. And so when we were going home and I boarded the plane, I handed the thing and I'm so like wanting to get on this plane and just get a good seat that I don't even pay attention anymore. And he's like, ma'am, you need this. And I'm like, God damn it. How many times am I going to do this in my life? Every time, apparently. That was my awkward moment. Yours was way better. You definitely win. Although I would say that Friday in its entirety was my awkward moment. losing my wallet, but
God, for sure.
but not losing my wallet.
For sure.
Jesus, good Lord.
I'd like to hear some Ugly and Awkward Moments from Vegas. I'm sure there's plenty of everyone going to Vegas.
The only thing that saves us from having even more is that we didn't go to a club. Because had we gone to a club, it would have been even more.
Jamie, I don't think those shoes would have lasted at a club.
My legs wouldn't have lasted in a club.
Do you know I was still sore for like 3 days after we got home?
When we were leaving on Sunday, you walk in, you're all, my thighs are killing me.
I felt like I had just rode a horse.
I know. It was crazy how much we walked. Why did we do that? Why did we walk so much?
I don't think we realized how much we were walking.
I don't either. I really don't.
It did. I mean, it seemed like a lot, but not like 8 miles.
It was insane. Well, first of all, Planet Hollywood is humongous. Humongous.
So is the Bellagio.
The Bellagio is huge. They're all humongous. I mean, they're huge.
They're big
Huge.
hotels.
And it's like there's no option. You can't get a ride anywhere. Even if we got an Uber to another hotel, you still had to walk like 3 miles to get through it.
There's no fast way to get there.
And then, of course, because it's Vegas, they don't believe in chairs for sitting and relaxing. If you're going to sit down, you're paying for something, whether it's a meal or gambling or a cocktail. There's no chairs just to rest at all.
Yeah, that wasn't really well planned out.
No, they do that on purpose. I told Daryl that. I'm like, there's not even a bench on the street. He goes, well, no, they don't want you resting. They want you sitting somewhere where you have to pay for something. I said, man, that is not conducive to my life at all. Crazy. And there's no golf carts. There's nothing. Like, can't we get like a little golf cart and take us anywhere?
The best you can get is one of those little rascal scooters.
I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, do they ban those or what?
No, I mean, I saw people in them when we were on Friday night. I saw some people in them where they actually needed them. But I mean, just in general, I don't see, it's not like Disneyland.
You know what? I wonder if the battery life just doesn't last.
Well, I mean, people will get stranded. It's
And
a
then
huge
who's
city.
going to push them?
No one. They'll just be sitting there. Call an Uber. That's all you can do. Crazy.
Oh my
It's so
gosh.
crazy. Really quick before we close, did you see the new Modern Family?
No, but I read about it.
Haley's pregnant.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Does she know who the father is?
Well, I don't know how much time has passed. I'm assuming that it is Dylan because she stopped having sex with the professor because he went to Europe.
Oh, right.
And she was sleeping with Dylan that whole time. And so
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Dylan's. But it would explain why she was eating like crazy when the mom died, when her grandmother died.
Oh, right.
I even
Yeah.
said that. We were watching it and she was just inhaling all this food. And I watched it and I said, oh, God, she's pregnant. And Daryl's like, what? I know. He goes, no, they're just showing how they all cope. I'm like, she's pregnant. There's no way. That girl is eating everything.
I saw a picture of her on Instagram where she was in like the clothing department.
Yeah.
And she was trying on like a big belly. So
Oh, I can't wait. Maybe they're going to do a time jump.
So it sounds like she's keeping it, obviously.
Well, she's in love with Dylan. They want to get married.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Aren't you glad it worked out like that?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, he's a nurse and stuff. I mean, he's
doing
he's not
better.
He's not a loser. I mean, he's
No,
put
she's
himself.
the loser.
I know. I was hoping something will work out. Something will work out for her. Something will
Yeah.
work out. Whether it's, I don't know what. We'll find out.
So Cowboy Cerrone is fighting this weekend.
I know. I'm so excited. We have to go to Daryl's stepdad, my father-in-law, Pops. There is it won't be a surprise by this time, but there's a surprise party on Saturday. So we'll be recording the Cerrone fight, but it'll be his last fight at 170.
Yes.
And then
so
he'll go
he's
back.
gonna go back to like Bones 155.
I know.
I hate him at that weight.
Well, he's just so thin. He's so tiny looking, but he wants the title. I don't know.
He loses all his fights at 170.
I know. Well, I can't remember who's got the title for 155. I didn't look it up. I'm sure I know what it is because isn't that McGregor's weight?
I think it was, but he doesn't have the title anymore.
There is no way that he can fight Khabib. Khabib will massacre him, murder him.
Well, Khabib is probably going to get banned.
Nah.
He
No
says
way.
he's not going to his hearing.
Isn't he back in Russia?
I think so. And so if he doesn't go to his hearing, then he'll be banned for life or 10 years or something like that.
Something
which
that will
make him obsolete.
Well, here, but he can still fight in other places. But yeah.
Yeah, he can. But no, I mean, if you're not in the UFC, then who's
You know
watching?
what? Did you know that Misha Tate fought?
When?
Like last week. She fought.
I know she became the vice president of a new company.
Invicta is not new, but I think that's where she fought. But she's still fighting. She just wanted out of the UFC. I think it's smart. I think, honestly, I mean, you either are a part of the machine or you're not. And people who are just in it for the sport and not necessarily the money and all of that stuff. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but there have been a lot of offshoots of MMA, different companies or whatever. Like Bellator is considered more respectable because they're not all about, you know, the glitz and the glam and the drama. They just do fights. And it's
I
also,
think they're the next biggest next to
they
UFC.
are. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Invicta is very female friendly.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's where a lot of female fighters go. And so I believe that's where Misha Tate went to fight. And I believe she won, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But
Well, that's cool.
I know. I love that. And I love the idea of an all-female league. I think that's great.
That is cool.
Trying to wedge into the UFC. I mean, Ronda Rousey opened the door for all of this to happen. But, you know, anything under a certain weight, people just aren't interested in because there's no big knockouts. You know, it's actually skill. Whereas, like, everybody, you know, well, you and I saw the Cormier Beast fight, and that was insane.
I know.
But they're also well over 200 pounds. And so to see these two giant people fighting is way more exciting than watching Demetrius Johnson fight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, I think I read that Anthony Rumble Johnson's coming back.
He's done being retired. It took a whole whopping year off.
I know, but that's what I read is that he wants to come back.
Well, he'll fight DC.
That was his last fight.
Yeah, and he gave up. Remember, we watched it. He didn't even try.
I like him, but his eyes are really yellow.
I think he's a handsome person. I think he's good looking.
It just bothers me.
Really? Oh, I think he's really handsome. Actually, well, you'd be hard pressed to find any heavyweights who aren't really attractive because nobody hits their face too much.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really, usually it's one hit and you're out, you know, except for DC. And DC's really good looking too. He doesn't have the cauliflower ear or, you know, several broken noses or anything like that.
No, he can take a punch, but he also takes down really quick too.
Well, and he doesn't rely on striking. It's all wrestling.
Yeah.
It's all takedowns. So, which I actually really like. I really like that. Yeah, I know.
So
I love his little family. His family's really cute too.
I know.
I love him. I really like DC. He grew on me quite a bit.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, we should probably wrap it up.
We should. So hopefully everybody has a good weekend. Also, happy Veterans Day. Be sure to honor those vets that you know. It's an important day. Be sure to head out to Amazon. Start looking around for those things you might need for Thanksgiving. Cooking items and other little doodads. I know I always forget to buy the little strings to tie the legs off or meat thermometers, little squeegees, or what are those things called? Basters.
Yes.
I think I lost mine. So, which I don't know where it went, but keep your mind out of the gutter, guys. Anyways, and then also visit Avon. They're having some really cool promotions right now. You can go through lipandclip.com. Jamie's posted some cool stuff on Facebook if you want to check it out and see what's going on over there. So other than that, have a fabulous week, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye. Bye.
That's a wrap. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.